Alright, what's going on, guys? Bray here because another live stream. We are back on the Ultimate Zombies Challenge series, where we actually are not doing any specific challenges today. We have kind of something a little bit different today, and that is we're essentially going through all of the World at War maps again, right? I kind of have some numbers already kind of jotted down here. I just gotta, there we go. Some of these might change as we play them, but we're essentially going to try going to maybe round 10, maybe round 15 on each of the maps. And I just want to talk strictly about each map. And afterwards, while we're getting ready to load up into the next map, I want to give my final rankings on it. Okay? So there's three big criteria that I'm putting in these maps, and then after this I'll kind of discuss a little bit more about Knocked. Okay, so the first is going to be the fun that we had on the map itself, as well as the challenges, and this is kind of the, how I would say, the peak. So the best challenge that we've done on the maps, how did we truly feel about it, what's the absolute most I could get out of this specific map. Okay, so that's kind of the first thing. The next thing is going to be the overall gameplay. Okay, so just what's inside the maps. If you just spawned in with some randoms, how would the gameplay truly feel? Okay, and then the last one is the atmosphere and story wise, and obviously this is kind of self-explanatory, but what's part of it. Now obviously there's gonna be a lot of different parts of this stuff, and we're gonna make sure we keep into account all this stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and just go right into Knocked, because obviously that's what we're playing. So Knocked obviously was our very first map that we started this challenge series on, and despite my my initial thoughts on it, I actually had a lot of fun on it. It was, between both Black Ops 3, I mean, I preferred the World at War one, but who's this last zombie? Finish this round. Maybe? Oh, Jesus. I did not see that zombie there. But between, World at War Knocked and, this Knocked, Black Ops 3 Knocked, that is, I felt like it definitely, it sustained itself. It was better than I thought it was going to be. The map obviously feels a little bit, I guess, easier, if that's the right word to say, in Black Ops 3, because you have some perks, you have Gobblegum, you just have more stuff to kind of help you out during the zombie outbreak, essentially, which, you have to appreciate for them to even, have that different kind of, just the different outlook on the map, honestly. So honestly, as far as the gameplay though, right? Just like I said, I want to just take this down, right? Take this down each step. That way we kind of know where we're getting some of these numbers wise, right? So in terms of gameplay, it doesn't offer much, right? Literally 3 rooms. Yeah, I mean, that's 3 rooms in a mystery box, right? I mean, there's not really much else you can even try to sell it, right? I mean, you really can't. You can't say really much of anything else. Okay. Because I mean, in all honesty, this is the map. Right? I mean, you literally can open 2 things, and bing, bada, boom, there's a mystery box, and that's it. Right? And now, obviously, in Black Ops 3, they, introduced some Wonder Fizz, you know, some other like little stuff here to kind of make it a little bit better of an experience, I guess, if that's the right if that's the right word to say for an experience. But other than that, like, I think it's like, for being the first zombie map, you also, in a way, you have to take that into consideration. But again, that's not what this was about. This isn't about let's rank the zombie maps, right? That's not really what we're doing here. We're saying, hey, okay, if I had to play Nocturne Toten for the rest of my life, and I had all these challenges to try out and try to complete and like recycle them over and over and over again, you know, where would that, and okay, a couple times I'm just not going to do a challenge and I'm just going to do regular gameplay. How is that? And I would say it's very mid, right? I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't burn myself out playing Noct. I didn't really burn myself playing any of these maps, in all complete honesty. You know, I mean, I played it, and then I went ahead and, you know, I don't, maybe like once or a couple times I played back-to-back days on challenges or something like that, but it wasn't just regular gameplay, you know, it was some kind of challenge involved in it, right? But ultimately, like, I just think it's a mid kind of style gameplay. I really do. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong saying that, oh, the first ever zombie map has mid gameplay. Like, what do you mean? Like, of course it does. Like, I would be surprised if the first ever zombie map didn't have mid gameplay to it, right? I mean, I think that's just very set in stone of what this map is. I'm not going to take away from it. I think it does well with what it has. I really do. I think for the first time map, it could have been a lot worse. It could have just been this, and then a mystery box like right there or something like that. But it's not. And then, so, you know, obviously you then have the ray gun in the, you know, mystery box wise, to kind of be your salvation, yet also the thing that could end you as well, which I think is kind of, it's cool, but also a little much, I think, of like how crazy that can really be. But like, I mean, I get it, you know, they gotta have, you know, make some kind of balance to it. They're not coming down as fast as I want them to here. Come on in, zombies. So yeah, the next thing is, like I said, how much fun and the challenges, how much this impacted the game. You know, I mean, on certain maps, you know, the challenges are really going to really stretch out what the game can be, or what the map can be. You know, it'll add so much to it. Or on flip side, it doesn't add much, and the gameplay, it remains the same no matter, even if you kind of challenge yourself on certain challenges. And that's just like that's the honest truth on it. Is sometimes that is the outcome on it. Okay, hit this real quick. Sure. Fine with not having. Trying to see here real quick. Yep, very nice. Let's go grab a box real quick. Might as well. So, for this portion of it, right, and I want to make it pretty clear with that, is so how this portion of the, I guess, grading system, if that's what you want to call it, is kind of graded. Is so no matter, like, this is a perfect map for it, because no matter what you get, you have two options, right? You either go ahead and camp up there, up on the catwalk, and you eventually die, and depending on what weapon it is, that becomes not even a viable option, and so you're left to just train here, right? Now, yeah, some of it made training better, made training harder, but at the end of the day, there was no other, like, alternative option, right? And certain weapons made it almost still an impossible option to play the map, especially on World at War. You know, if you get something like the Car 98K or something like that, you're not lasting too long, like, in the map in general. So, like, you know, but like in Black Ops 3 wise, you can at least get double pack and be at least somewhat like salvation in a sense, especially on certain maps where they actually have the pack punch. And like, I'll be honest, it was fun, but to have to rely on the two avenues of either hitting Gobblegum or the Wonder Fizz, like, Wonder Fizz is one thing to have to rely on for just the perk wise, but to do anything extra with it, for the Gobblegum to take that, like, that portion over, I think made it very, very difficult to really appreciate. Not getting good luck here. That's for sure. So I think that's a big talking point, I think, when it comes to Nocturne Totem, is nothing truly changed, like, whenever you got stuff like that, in a sense. And I didn't really feel like I was having more fun than what I would do if I just got regular, like, if I was able, like, on a 2-box challenge, for instance, like, I felt the same kind of experience as I did of, hey, I gotta go, like, I'm just gonna play a regular game of Noct. Nothing was really amplified by the challenges, I would say. Yes, it restricted me for sure, but to say that, oh, I'm like, this is going to be such a better experience, I truly didn't really feel that. Yes, things, you know, made it a little bit difficult for sure, but I wasn't like, man, like, this is such a better way to play Noct, you know? Like, I didn't have that kind of experience with it. And then, finally, the atmosphere and story. Now, obviously, there's not really much to Noct, in terms of story or anything like that. A little bit, for sure. I mean, every map has a little bit of story, but it really just excels with the atmosphere, and for a map that didn't have really anything to grab hold of and say, oh yeah, this is the new zombie map, by the way, and here you go, and like, brand new game mode, check it out. God, this is terrible. I think they probably did the best they could have. I truly believe that. We'll see in certain other maps as well that this kind of tanks a little bit on the experience level of things. We'll see that. And like I said, I have grades for these portions of it, and like, I feel like I'm not being too critical on it. I actually feel like I'm giving out pretty fair ratings here. Like I said, I kind of want to get to between like maybe round 12 or so on each map here. I don't want to spend too much time on each one, but I want to make sure I touch on every point to kind of justify where I'm gonna rank each map, and then that way I know also how I judge them, and I can pass this on to when we touch World at War maps. I'm not like, oh yeah, I gave this, you know, whatever, and then I go to the next map and I'm like, ooh, that was not fair. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Also, welcome to the stream if you are still here. Zombies. Over here, zombies. I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna hit Wonder Fizz real quick, and then we're gonna go ahead. Hey, there's Speed Cola. Okay, so at least we got all our perks. That's nice. All the perks we wanted anyway. I wanted like the ray gun. Can we get the ray gun, please? Monkey bounce. Very nice. So wunderbar. Yeah, let's pass over here real quick. So, going back up to the top here. Again, I'm going to kind of reiterate why I'm giving them these rankings as well. But for Knocked, we're going to start with the overall gameplay again. Like I mentioned, it's nothing crazy, anything like that. And which is why I'm giving it a flat 50. I think to put it anywhere below the 50%, I also want to reiterate, these are out of 100. So it's not like some crazy weird scaling system. I was going to do like a 1 out of 10 thing, but I figured there's a lot of zombie maps and I think each of them excel differently. Now I do think maybe like gameplay and stuff should weigh a little bit more on the overall score than the atmosphere wise, which is why technically the gameplay is the kind of the lowest level. Like, hey, what's on the map? How can you play it? Is it fun? Like, is it enjoyable for the baseline gameplay? And then the next one, so this one was, like I said, the 50. I would give Knocked a 50% out of 100. The fun / challenge rating, meaning again, kind of the max fun I've had on the map. You know, how enjoyable were the challenges, things like that too. Did I feel like all the challenges were repetitive? Did I feel like I was missing anything out on the challenges? You know, there's a lot of things that, you know, again, go through with this. But I'm giving it a flat 60. Like I said, I don't think there's something too crazy about Knocked to say like, oh, it deserves, you know, this crazy rating. I don't believe that. Even though I had fun on it for sure. I think it was better than I thought, and I did a lot more challenges wise, so I think it reflects that. You know, I truly think that rating of 60 does reflect that, hey, you know, if you think about it, if you look at it percentage wise, you know, every other match, like, I'm having a decent time, you know. And I feel like that's the truth. I feel like it was fun, but like nothing crazy. And I think that makes sense. And finally, we have the atmosphere and story. Now this goes right with the like Easter egg kind of stuff as well, but mostly it's the atmosphere. And again, this is where Knocked will skyrocket in the rankings, but there are, I'll say it, there's a lot of maps that I think I'm going to give some pretty nice ratings to, and then there's also going to be certain maps that have bad mechanics that go right with a lot of like the gameplay and wise, and it's going to tank certain maps. Something like Ascension with Space Monkeys, the overall gameplay on it and certain challenges are going to be miserable because of the fact that it's just a bad design map and a bad design feature. There is nothing else I can like say about that. Like, that's what Ascension is. Same with Moon with the excavators. I think it's map ruining. I truly just don't think it should even be in the game, or a better system to be able to do it. Like, I don't think they have a place in there. But the atmosphere of those maps, I think, are spot on. So when it comes to Knocked, the atmospheric / storyline ranking, I'm giving a 92. 92 out of 100. Again, I don't think this map could do much more. Now, between intro cutscene, which obviously is huge. There is obviously no Easter egg, which I'm not taking away from it. An Easter egg can, I think an Easter egg can only deliver more to a map. But obviously the storyline is a huge thing too. And for this technically being the start of Zombies, not storyline, but just gameplay and maps and all that, I think is a huge step for that was last. I want to try getting one last liquid video, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Again, I don't really want to waste too much time on that. Like once we're done, we're done. You know, like I don't really want to keep kicking this keep kicking the horse when we're done with the map. You know. But I just want to try doing what I can here on this map while we keep hitting the box here. Fine. Alright. Alright. Probably just like wait, maybe like one more round or something. I don't know. But yeah, I think a 92 for atmosphere wise, I think it's fair on this. Again, it doesn't. I don't think this map does anything to where, like, cutscene wise, I think it's one of the best cutscenes we've had. Yes, you might just say, well, it's just a zombie breaking in and stuff. Yes, but you have to understand the atmosphere around that itself. Is like, this is like after World War, you know, after World War II, and then all of a sudden, you know, a zombie outbreak. Like that's where we're at here. So I mean I don't know. I think that's a fair assessment there. I don't like, based off of just like the gameplay I'm kind of doing right now, I don't feel anything different about it in a sense. Like I don't really look at that ranking and say, maybe I was a little harsh or anything along those lines. Like I truly think that is a fair assessment on Knocked. Like I really just don't think, like I don't really feel anything else that's like, yeah, I mean it's oh, there's our liquid uranium, so that's nice. Huh? 14. Very nice. Alright, well, there we have it. One map completed. We will tally all this stuff up at the end here. But again, gameplay, I'm ranking right at 50. Fun / challenges. It's just overall just how we've experienced it. I'm putting it at 60. And then atmosphere and story, we are ranking at 92. As we move to Verrect. Now, Verrucht is going to be quick, I think. So there's a huge thing. Get a drink real quick. Okay. There's a big thing with certain maps like Verrucht and Shangri-La, right? Does difficulty affect? Hang on, let me actually. I don't really, or I guess I am kind of in a decent spot. Okay.
It's always the first priority.
A little bit. There's always a huge thing when it comes to these kind of maps, and it's the fact of, does difficulty affect your overall experience, and does it take away, or should it? I guess the biggest thing is, should it take away from how that map is ranked or like played? Any like that. Obviously, that's kind of interchangeable, ranked and played and all that. And for most people, I think they would say, well, no, like you shouldn't be able to rank a map based off of that, because like it's kind of like a just get good kind of argument with it. Like, so you're telling me if you were better and you could get to a higher round on it, you would have more enjoyable fun on it. And look, I think for me, my biggest thing on it is the answer to that would be yes. If I could get to a higher round, I would have more fun on Verrucht. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. However, the issue I have on Verrucht is, like, I'm around 25 to 30 person, okay? Like let me be able to set up, camp it out, and, or train and get to my round that I desire, essentially. And between round 25 and 30, I know, like, I'm a decent zombie player. I got to this point in that map, and I feel like I can confidently say I beat that map, right? Verrucht is not like that. Verrucht is a map that I've always wanted to like. Like, I always thought, like, oh, I'm a better zombie player now. Like, let me take my, like, let me put my skills on at Verrucht, right? Like, I have to be a better zombie player now to take on another harder zombie map, right? And it's just like, no, like, it's more so the fact that it's unfair, necessarily, especially when you get on the World at War style. Obviously, we're playing Black Ops 3. You have a little bit more things at your disposal to say, oh, I'm better than the map, and I have more resources now. I can, hit a gobble gum for a packed weapon. There's a lot of other things with it now that make it easier, but still a difficult map. And I think my biggest issue lies with the fact that it plays the same really no matter what, right? Like, no matter what you do, whether you're playing as just a classic game of, oh, I'm going to hit the box however I feel, and, kind of, like, play with no restrictions, so no challenges, nothing like that, right? I'm just going to play how I want to play, and that's it. You would think it would be an easier style game, right? Being more, not easy saying, like, oh, super easy, but more so saying, like, oh, I can kind of get to a decent round at least, and not be, like, I guess, struggling and in pain every 2 seconds, right? This is all getting to the overall gameplay of Verrucht, right? And that's my core issue with Verrucht, right? Is the core gameplay of it. So, keep in mind, for Nacht, we ranked it as 50, okay? Just a flat line, oh, this is kind of what the map offers, this is kind of what you can do on the map, and here you go, right? Verrucht, this is how I put Verrucht, right? Baruch added stuff, but at the same time took away the experience of kind of what the map could have been by, like, so they kind of kept the same atmospheric struggle, or like atmospheric spookiness, I guess. I don't know what the right, I guess, term would be for it, but they kind of kept the same atmosphere, but then took away what you can actually do as a player. They gave you perks and everything, but you still just felt like you actually had less than you did on Noct. Noct, you already knew you didn't have a level, right? You already knew all you really had was a mystery box, right? I mean, that's all you knew you really had in Noct. But yet, now you have perks, and yet you still feel like you don't have anything. And it's like, oh yeah, that's true. I literally feel like I am struggling right now. And I don't know. There's just something about that I don't enjoy. I don't enjoy the fact that I have more but less. You know, and with that, a lot of people are going to hate this ranking on it. I already know that. Because there's so many people that are Baruch lovers, and then there's a whole part of the community that says, I don't like Baruch because of the difficulty level of it. For me, so keep in mind, again, Noct, I put 50. Baruch, I am giving a 37. Again, you have more in the map, but then somehow have less, right? And you know, this kind of map, you would think, okay, it's gonna be tough, right? Like when you have this, like, I feel like there's a certain line where for the most part the challenges and like restrictions that we did during this challenge series always should make the map better, right? Because you're restricting things, you're adding your own challenges to the gameplay, and therefore making it a better experience, or at least it should be, right? And to be fair, we have yet to see that. Every single core gameplay I have increased by, I mean, I think this is, well, actually, we only did 10 points for Noct when we did this. Or, like, increased it by 10 points for Noct. So, like, I mean, it obviously can be not as good, I guess. Because Noct, we only increased it from 50 to 60. Take care of these guys real quick. However, for Baruch, we're going from a 37 to a 50. And to be fair, I feel like that's even too high. But here's my reasoning behind it. This is the reason why I'm giving Baruch the same, kind of the same level as Noctur and Toten without,
This is just so heavy.
what is it, without challenges? What? Say, I didn't know what was happening there.
Like prosciutto.
Ah.
Samantha,
I think we have like 2 doors we have to unlock for double tap. That's our next thing I really want to try getting. Can I grab that, please? Oh, we're... want to get this thing really quick.
I can save vials of their blood for later. Reinhold, die!
Beautiful. Okay. Where was I? Okay. So the reason why I have this being the same as Knocked, essentially, in terms of after the challenges. So I mentioned it even on stream too, of how much fun I was not having on Bro, right? And it was like tolerable, and then after a certain point, it was miserable again, right? I mean, and that was a true feeling too. It wasn't like I was saying that and was like, oh yeah, like it's actually not that bad. It was like, no, I actually did not enjoy playing Varrock whatsoever. And you might be like, oh, why, like, you're, like, that's kinda unnecessary in a sense. Like, you don't have to be like that, like, you don't have to be like that to, you know, Varrock. But, in all honesty, like, I literally just did not enjoy it at all. And even right now, like, I'm just like, it's not a great time. Like, it just never is. Great memories. How's it going, motivational journey? How are you doing? And yeah, like, and you know, that's the thing is, it did have great memories, right? But I also didn't really have great memories on Varrock. You know, like, I don't like there. It was always a map of pure focus and like, okay, we need to do this, we need to do this, you need to get this weapon, that's the only way we're gonna survive, right? And yeah, you know what that sounds like? Oh yeah, nah. Only difference, it's crazier, but you have perks, so maybe it shouldn't be as crazy, but it is, right? That's literally the issue. That's why I literally have it the same ranking as basic Knocked, because again, I just don't have a solid time on this map. I really do not. By the way, motivation journey. What we are doing right now is essentially just evaluating. We went through and pretty much did a bunch of challenges on all World at War maps, from Knocked all the way through to Duri/the Giant. We really just did Black Ops 3 Varrock and the Giant, because we didn't have the World at War map packs for it, but I have played them before, so my critique is justified on the map too. There we go. All right, Gorgon time. Oh, we'll actually grab this puppy.
Step into the light.
One sec. Right now we are just going ahead and kind of ranking them in a sense. In terms of gameplay, between gameplay, which is essentially just what's inside the actual map, and then also evaluating our fun/challenges that we did on the map and how that amplified the gameplay. So normally the gameplay should be, the challenges / like having fun on the map should be more or bigger than the than the base gameplay, for the most part, and so far that's still holding true. We ranked Knocked as a 50 overall, 50 out of 100 points on base gameplay, And then, oh, the other thing we also have is atmosphere as well, which we have yet done. We have not done yet on this, or on this map.
No wounds, no wounds, no joy.
Haha, they died
A
from.
gift from Sam. But why?
Alright, we'll probably just go one more round before we zap ourselves, potentially. Kind of over this. This map reminds me of the first trailer, World at War. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there's good memories with it. The last thing, so yeah, so we ranked it gameplay-wise 37. Again, just straight up not having a good time on this map. And then for our fun slash challenge, like after our challenge amplifier, we gave that a 50, just straight 50. I just felt like it was kind of mid, all around. I don't think it was worse than that. I don't think it was better than that. I'm kind of leaning more towards the worst right now, but I'll give it to it, I guess. Maybe I was a little harsh on the gameplay perspective of it, but I don't know. Wait, the sad thing is people are quitting this game. If you go online, you will find no players. Such nice days. This map is kind of hard, yes. Yeah, and, you know, I mentioned it earlier, like when we first started this, map, is that's kind of the biggest thing with Baruch is, and, you know, the biggest thing that people question is, oh, is because it's hard, does that justify the fact that you should rank it lower, right? And I think it's to an extent. When you can't really, you really need to focus. You can't do a spin. Yeah, I mean, it definitely, it's just more like you have to be on your A game. Like, you have to make sure you go for the head. You have to time your reloads properly, otherwise a massive horde might come around the corner while you're reloading and put you in a corner, and it becomes a very rough time. For sure. The last thing that we have to rank is the atmosphere and storyline. Again, just like where we were at with Knocked, I don't think there's really anything you can say to go against Baruch in those in those aspects, if that makes sense. So we're giving this an 89. Okay, you guys sub, bro, keep up the good work. Hey man, I appreciate it. We will be going into, so we do have one other stream before we get back into our challenge series. It's just going to be a chill stream, but we're going to do a Liquid Divinium opening. I think we have like a little over 100 Liquid Diviniums. We're just going to do a one spin on it, but then we'll be going into Black Ops 1 on PS3. I'm sorry, Kino. Oh yeah, Black Ops 1 on PS3 to play Kino, where we'll start back up our challenge series. So, yeah, if you're around and able to stop in on any of those streams, I would love to have you out. This is why I don't like the Wonder Wall. Honestly, the big reason why I do not like the Wonder Wall. Is that it? Hurrah! There's a zombie that needs to die. Sorry, I almost lost my cool there. But yeah, we will be going back on there. We'll just have one chill stream before we move on. I think we zap ourselves. Kind of done with this one, this map. Oh, and we get a liquid divinium. See how spicy that is? So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Just for, I guess, I'm actually kind of curious on where these are at right now. So the total possible score is 300, right? Because you can get 100, 100, and 100 out of all these aspects, right? So knocked, we are 202. Is this pen really dead right now? Hold on. Let me grab another pen here. 202. So knocked is 202 out of 300. Verrucht is 179. Wow, that's kind of crazy, actually. I think I might have to adjust that. I may have to adjust my Shinonuma rankings. Because that doesn't seem right. I might only go up a little bit though, to be completely honest. On both of them. I mean, it doesn't truly affect it. So I think I might actually keep it there and then 6. Yeah, I'm literally just gonna go up 6 points. I mean, it's not gonna do crazy difference. I can't believe I just tallied up my Shinonuma rankings, and it was the same as knocked. So I knew I had to adjust something, and I literally just adjusted the baseline a little bit. I kept everything else the same. So I looked at this stuff before I started streaming. I was like, okay, I want to kind of give my raw explanation on this stuff first before I get into it, and then maybe I might change some stuff as I'm kind of talking and playing it out. But yeah, so we move on to Shinonuma, right? Shinonuma, there's a reason why it's up there on my top zombie maps, and World at War capitalized on it. A lot of people don't like Shinonuma, and I understand why. Okay, I understand what it did, not necessarily what it did wrong, but more so what Doris did better, and the reason why more people flooded over there than here. However, I don't understand the hate on it. It's for me personally, the 25 zombie cap I think is the best thing about Shinonuma. I think it just brings a different experience to the map. I think I truly think it was nice. I'm actually just kind of saying this. I'm bumping it. 70. I'm trying to think of I'm actually going to do this because I think that would be a little bit better, to be honest. I'm just kind of talking about it, and I was like I said, I wrote down some raw numbers on where I was what numbers I was gonna rank these maps, and for Kino and Verrucht, I kept the same. I did not change anything about those two maps. But Shinonuma wise, the more I'm back at it playing, there's one difference with it. Okay, well, there's a couple when it comes to it. So in terms of core gameplay, right? okay, it has pretty much the same thing as Varrock, right? I mean, it's a bigger map, right? The box moves, and then you also have random perks, so that's different. You have a Wonder Waff now, so an actual usable wonder weapon. And in World at War wise, it was actually good compared to this monstrosity that they did, because there's not a zombie cap, right? So it made it to where this is, and then they also put traps, I think, in just a better spot to be used, I think would be the right word for it. Maxi?
Gun juice refill, just what I needed.
Kind of gotta focus up, I guess. I guess round three go crazy out here. Let's say, where's the other?
I need to get some slugs.
Huh? Where was I? Okay. So, Shinonuma. Core gameplay wise, I think they added the right things. When it comes to what Noct did and then what Varrock did, they said, like, okay, what could we do different, right? Now, don't get me wrong, there's some flaws with Shinonuma, right? There's some flaws. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, Shinonuma is a 100% flawless map. By all means, no, right? But when it comes to the other maps, and again, this isn't a ranking system necessarily, but it kind of comes down to that. Because when you think about a map, and then how the challenge, like, again, the whole reason for this whole challenge series was to see what maps you could essentially play for forever, and how the challenges kind of amplify or how, like, certain challenges would amplify your experience to make it, like, almost make you want to play forever on that map, right? Now, Shinonuma, again, it has a certain, I guess, place in my heart for what, like, just the map it is and everything like that. And I'd be the first one to tell you that it is slightly opinionated, and, you know, like, my opinion is strong on it, and, like, I'm not denying that it's impacting the ranking wise. Okay, so again, Noct, we ranked 50 in this category of just baseline gameplay, nothing else, right? Noct we gave 50, Varrock we gave 37. For Shinonuma, I am bumping it all the way up to a 71. Now, this 71 was my actual start, or my original number for after the challenges, right? I had Shinonuma at, I think, 58 originally. And then I had the after the challenges, like with the challenges and all that, like how much fun did I have, I bumped that up to 71. However, I was thinking about it, and Shinonuma didn't really have that. I ran the same strategy no matter what. There wasn't like a really time where I was like, oh no, I'm not going to, like, I had fun on Shinonuma, do not get me wrong. Shinonuma, again, there's a reason why it's one of my favorite zombie maps. However, it, like, ranking wise, and I have to be kind of considerate of what we're going to be ranking in the future as well, in terms of Shadows of Evil, you know, just great zombie maps essentially that are going to have a lot more to offer. You know, I have to be conscious about that too, and that's why, like, for I think 71 as a starting point on that, I think is solid. I think for what Shinonuma is, the base gameplay, I think is great. I truly do believe that. Like, if I mean 71 out of 100, I mean it's not even on in the 25 or 25th percentile, right? Like the top 25. I mean, so like in a sense, like it's really not that high if you think about it. It's higher when it comes down to the other World at War maps. But here's the difference, right? The next portion of this
Do that again, I'll bite you back, freak sack.
This is not. Really didn't want to die there. The next portion of this is that amplifier, right? The other ranking of after the challenges, you know, how did we feel about the map, right? If you averaged all the challenges up, did I enjoy it better than the core map? And yes, I did. But I don't think I gained a lot more from the core map. And that is why, so the core gameplay of it, I'm putting it at 71, but then after all the challenges and stuff, I'm giving a 78. Only a 7-point increase, right? And this is where I think it's fair, is because maps like, you know, Nock got a 10-point increase, and then Varrock got a 13-point increase, right? And I think from there, like, you know, for Shinonuma getting less than that, or less than those maps, I think is a thing to say about it too. And yes, it might only be a few points less, but still. This is the point where Shinonuma drops off though. Okay. Let's see, where's this dog? Shinonuma drops off with the atmosphere, right? And, you know, a little bit of it, I'm just like, what do you mean atmosphere? Like, it, you know, it's good, right? But then you really look at it, right? And yes, don't get me wrong, the greenery, all that stuff, it makes for a nice looking map. Like, I mean, especially on Black Ops 3, it kind of has a Zetsubo kind of vibe to it, just a little bit brighter, right? But there's also something about it too. And that something about it really is just the fact that it's all the same, right? The huts are the same. Like, everything is the same kind of color to it, to where it doesn't have really personality.
Let's dance,
you know, yes, you have the flogger, things like that. But the atmosphere, I think, really just takes a dip on this map. And I did not know they spawned that far out. And I think that's honestly where this map gets hurt. Is for
what in the world
like
is
when you compare it to, and again, I feel like they did this. There was a kind of running theme with it in terms of where the what is this last zombie? I heard him from behind me. That was terrifying. In terms of atmosphere, right, and story. Now, yes, you can say, oh, Peter McCain, like, that's added story. Okay, whatever. And yes, there was, like, little things with it, like the elemental rock back, or element 115. You know, like, there is hints of story, to be fair. Like, there is. You know, it was the first map to introduce the characters, all that good stuff, right? And I'm not denying that. I'm not denying any of that, right? But I don't think it was anything crazy. So I'm giving the atmosphere, again, knocked atmosphere, I gave a 92 out of 100. Like, I just, between atmosphere and storyline, again, those are like combined things. So when we get into things that have Easter eggs, like, that's gonna be, you know, graded as well. I'm not holding, for maps that don't have Easter eggs, I'm not holding that against them. I think if you have an Easter egg and it's bad, it's gonna reflect on you, right? Like, I think like that's a whole nother thing to kind of be graded wise, and it's almost like if you have an Easter egg, like, you better have done it right. Otherwise, like, you know, don't, in a way, like, don't put a what I don't know what the I don't think there's really necessarily a phrase for it, but in a sense, like, if you didn't want that to be graded, like, if you didn't want that question to be graded of how was your Easter egg, don't put it on the test, right? And that's kind of what some of these maps here is. You know, they don't have an Easter egg, so I'm not really grading the Easter egg in a sense, like, it's just blank. But maps that have an Easter egg and say, oh, I have an Easter egg, okay, let's take a look at it. You know, like, there's gonna be, it's stuff like that there. That's nice. So that's kind of where that's at. So Noct had a 92. Verrucht, I gave an 89. And then Shinonuma, I gave a 73. And I think here's kind of the reason why is they kind of took a step away from the German, like, kind of the German research facilities, in a sense. Like, before it was, what was it? Before it was literally Nocturne Toten, right? Where it was, oh, this is literally after World War II, the undead have, you know, come back, right? Like, and, you know, and that's what we were dealing with, right? And then Verrucht, for instance, it was literally a, you know, an insane asylum, right? Like, you can't really, there's not really much that can be better than those, right? I mean, like, that's pretty tough to compete against. There's a zombie, dude. Come on. I'm trying to push through the rounds here, buckaroo. What are we doing? So yeah, that's, and so when they decided to go ahead and do a, what is it, kind of Japanese, you know, I mean, they're Japanese zombies, stuff like that. Oh, is it not? I thought it was Dog Round. That's gonna be interesting.
I wish I could meet the chick who sang that jingle.
Or not. Yo, hey, Nubs Canucks, how you doing, my man? It's been a long time, my brother.
See you all in hell.
How you doing, my man? Can I grab this?
Wonder if that rock brought those freak bags.
I thought you'd never come back. Push for the nuke!
More gun juice. Kick ass.
A long time no see, my man. It's crazy. Certain people I just never expect to see anymore. So how have you been? As far as, so I want to make sure I calculated that right.
No match for the U.S. Marines. Go sniff some freak bag ass, meat hole.
Might have to pause here real quick. that? All right, and I just want to pause real quick. I want to add up this score here. So again, we had 71 for gameplay, 78 for our challenges and fun, kind of like the amplifier, what I kind of call it, and atmosphere and storyline, bringing Shinonuma to 222. And now,
Gun juice refill, just what I needed.
I kind of want to just see if I can maybe get a another liquid divinium here. It's kind of what kind of going for. Does this not have an exterior one?
Damn, I need to kill more freak bags first.
Huh. Huh? I thought I had an exterior option for it, but I guess not.
Fucking A, that was a good shot.
So we had 220, and I might have to adjust the what is it called? I may have to adjust the giant as well. However, I don't think I'm gonna be adjusting it crazy. Again, these were a lot of my numbers I like kind of threw down here. Were like, you know, they were baseline numbers in a sense. Like they weren't anything like set in stone by any means, but like they were numbers I kind of came up with and really thought were true. And honestly though, I'm kind of okay with this.
What the hell is a wonder?
Like I'm actually kind of I'm looking at the
Time to rack up some kills.
you know what? I think I might actually keep the giant / Darius the same. And there's one main reason. Yeah, I'm gonna activate the flogger.
This is gonna jack those freak bags up.
Because we're done with Shinonuma. We are moving on to the giant for our last kind of breakdown here. And people are not gonna like me for it. Because I have them. So I have the giant 12 points higher than Shinonuma. Keep in mind, I would play Shinonuma probably more than the giant. Keep in mind that. And I think there's a trade-off here. Because the only thing that really, and I really do believe this too, is the only thing that Giant does differently than Shinonuma is the, what is it, it took everything from World at War and combined it into the best thing. But most of it came from, I think, Shinonuma. As far as the space, everything like that. The only thing that they took, I think, from Noct was essentially, let's make a camping spot that doesn't have a window that you have to like watch or anything like that. And Pack Punch. Well, like Pack Punch was its own idea wise, but like I think we might just actually chill here and do like a starting room challenge maybe.
What happens next is
but like you essentially only have Pack and that's about it. And even though you have Pack, your gameplay experience doesn't really change. If you like, okay, I want you to like really think about that. Is with Pack-a-Punch, you only added one other step to your progression, right? You're able to get a little further on the map, right? But didn't change anything. You could remove Pack-a-Punch, and everyone would still camp on that catwalk. It didn't change anything, right? It made it to where, wow, I have this better weapon, I can get further. Yes. But you have more zombies now, right? Because this is when they took away the 25 zombie cap too, right? So it's like, okay, I have more zombies to deal with, but I have a stronger weapon, right? Shinonuma, you had a strong weapon and a capped zombies to where that weapon, meaning the Wonder Waff, was at like maximum potential, essentially. I think that's fair to say.
Having failed to secure the intel.
Here's the thing. So, like I said, I don't really want to focus too much on Shinonuma right now. Okay, even though I'll keep talking about it, I'm sure. For the Giant, core gameplay wise, it's the same. It's the same. It's the same as from Knocked all the way to now. It's the same. There is no other step with it. You have, yes, obviously it's better, right? Obviously it has more to it, to where people are like, oh yeah, it's a better zombie experience. Fine, you know, like I'll accept that. Like I'll accept someone that would say that, you know. But I also want you to kind of be like, okay, like it's also, I think, overhyped as well. And I think that is crucial to the kind of keep an eye out as well. It is also overhyped. And I think that's important. So for gameplay, we are ranking it 1 point higher. 1 point higher than Shinonuma. It is sitting at 72. Now, here's the thing. Just like Shinonuma, I didn't feel different about the map. There was some challenges that, yeah, made it more challenging. I had a little bit more fun on, for sure. But I think in the, like, average sense of playing this map, I rank it the same as Shinonuma. Here's the difference. Okay, and again, I know we're kind of flying through that portion of it, but we're also going to do a little bit of a recap on all of these anyway. The difference is clearly the atmosphere, right? Is, again, they make it to where you head back to a German research facility, right? And even just the description of it, right, makes you, like, kind of eerie about where you're at, what you might see throughout the facility, right? Is this where it all begins? Or is this where it all began? Is this where it all ends? Right? I mean, so much like things about it that are just like, ooh, that is kind of tough to, you know, think about. Like, is this it? Right? Like, I mean, then you put power in a central spot to where you see the bridge collapse. All this, like, wonderful stuff, right? And it's like, wow, like, this is what I'm playing right now. Like, this is no longer, like, Zombies as you know it is no longer, it is forever changed from this, right? And what their capabilities are, right? Like, okay, so now you activated a switch, and the other half of the map becomes open. You know, like, there's so much stuff kind of that gets kind of overseen with it. And that's why, like, yes, it added to the gameplay. Like, obviously, like, when you see that, you're like, oh, nice, I have a bridge now that I can cross. Okay, yeah, obviously you can go across that bridge now, right? Like, obviously, that's now in there now, right? There.
That'll buy us some time. Like, you know, a minute. Hey, brain maggots. Who's ready for a gunfight at the OK Corral?
I don't know if that was last or what we're doing here. I forgot to even look what that perk was over by the... I thought it was Mule Kick. Pretty sure it was.
Wonder if this stuff makes you faster, or if it just makes everything else slow down.
We're gonna head over here real quick. Oh, I want...
Did I need to start
zombie
swinging here, or find some ammo? What's
Very
not to
nice.
love about a machine gun?
What was I saying? Oh, atmosphere.
An SMG.
So, obviously, with all that stuff I mentioned, teleporters, all this, it just adds to the atmosphere. And I truly believe that. The teleporters don't really change how you play the game. Yes, you can move around the map a little bit better. But I don't think it truly does anything to where I would be like, yes, that makes it so much better. Like, yes, obviously I'd like to be able to go certain places a little faster, for sure. But the atmosphere is where I think it's the first time that I think we see it get ramped back up after a decrease, right? From, again, this was my personal opinion here. Noctur and Totem, we had 92, then 89 for Verrucht, and then we hit 73 for Shino Numa. And I think it gets ramped back up to an 84 for atmosphere here. And also you do have an Easter egg too, right? Though it's not anything crazy, I still consider it an Easter egg, right? And I think Doris and, you know, the Giant gets props for that. I truly think I think that's worthy of something. I don't know what's going on with these last, like, zombies, though. I think it's actually kind of irritating.
Charred and broiled.
Let's just see what we got here. Oh, let's go.
I wonder if this thing shoots 115 too.
We might have to hit the box one more time. Perfect.
I'm gonna open up.
And we can pack the ray gun now to be our final weapon for the game. How about that? What a perfect spin, right? So I just want to do a little recap here, right? So again, we kind of talked about the maps, how we experienced them, what our take on the maps were, things like that. And now, let's kind of like rank them in a sense. Okay. So, well, first we're going to go ahead and just rank them all first by the gameplay wise. Okay. So we're going to rank them by each kind of tier that we rank them by. And then we'll give them a final ranking in terms of total rankings, okay? So we're going to start with core gameplay for every map, right? Dead last, Verrucht. Varuk scored 37. Okay. Coming next is Knocked. Hitting the... where is... God, these last zombies, dude. Knocked coming with 50. Then we have Shinonuma with 71. And finally, number 1 is the Giant with 72. Okay, so the Giant would win the gameplay by 1 point over Shinonuma. Next is the fun and challenge kind of, I guess, amplifier, if you would. And like I said, that's kind of what I've been kind of calling it there. Beautiful. Good job, Reagan. So with that, again, coming in last is Varuk with 50. Knocked would take second with 60. I'm sorry, third. And then tying for first and I guess second would be Shinonuma and the Giant, both sitting at 78. I think both of them I played the same wise. I enjoyed my time on each of them. I really I think I would play each of them in different situations. Especially when it comes to the World at War version of Shinonuma. I think there's different reasons to play each of them. And I don't think either that's the case. I don't think one outweighed the other, if that makes sense. So finally we have Atmosphere, right? Let's go ahead and reload this real quick. How did you get behind me, though? A little aggressive zombie over here. We're gonna grab this. Guess we. Let's go ahead and just chill up here real quick. We might just go at next dog round. We might just go link up all the teleporters real quick. Finally, we have the atmosphere and storyline section. Coming in last would be Shinonuma, which kind of upsets me on that one, but you know, I think with the other maps it clearly shows where the, I guess, greatness lies, if that's the right phrase to use on that. Coming in third place is the Giant / Doris with 84, with a score of 84. And then coming in number 2, we have Varuk. And finally, might actually just go ahead. Yeah, let's. With that being last zombie, let's just go run and link these real quick and pack a punch. Because why not? Who doesn't want a packed ray gun? Guess a lot of people don't want a packed ray gun. Especially in Black Ops 3. I don't think there's many people that would actually say, "Oh yeah, give me a packed ray gun, please." Come on. Trying to focus up here. Wow. Surprised. No idea what that last zombie is, that's for sure.
Any minute now.
go.
Most badass firearms known to man.
Oh,
I want to play a game. Let's play.
I did not know you could activate it with the ray gun.
Balls for heads.
Huh. All my years, I have never activated this thing with the ray gun.
Hey, you found one.
I did not know you could do that. Let's do the Easter egg then, boys.
Wow, you found another one. There must be a purpose to this.
And just like that,
I know where and when you are.
This doesn't look like any of that.
the Easter egg is complete.
Shit.
Sooner or later, I will find you.
See how easy that is? Beautiful.
Sure, that's a future.
So, with that, this would be our rankings for World at War. And again, this will also keep these kind of numbers for when we go into Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, you know, all the way through. That way we kind of see where we rank the other maps, and we can kind of justify our rankings throughout, and we can kind of remain consistent on it. One thing I definitely don't want to do is, you know, get to like Black Ops 2 or something like that, and then I'm like, oh yeah, the atmosphere on this is a 72, and it's like, well, hold on, you gave, you know, Shinonuma a, you know, 73 on atmosphere, you know, like I don't want to be, you know, I don't want to have anything that makes it to where our system does not work, you know, or doesn't make sense. Guess would be the better way to say that. Should end round. Beautiful. So our worst World at War map is Verrückt, getting a little over half the 300 points that are the total points in the entire that is even possible to get. They receive 179. Okay. 179 points. Okay. Next comes in as Nocturne and Totem, with hitting just over 2/3 of the amount that is possible, and that's at 202. So they hit 202, or I guess Noct hits 202. There you go. I was gonna say it's round 13, my brother. Like, what are we doing out here? Buy this. I don't know. Like, what else do we gotta buy? I don't know. Maybe this. Can we like get a liquid divinium? That'd be nice, I guess. Alright, there we go. See? Round done. So, let's see. Verrückt was 179, so that was our 4th ranked map. Noct, 202. Then coming in 3rd, 20 points higher than Noct, is Shinonuma at 222. And then only 10 points higher than that is the giant at 234. So here's the biggest thing, right? And I think a lot of people might like look at the giant and be like, oh, this is definitely like S tier map. Like if you were to rank it, you probably would give it, you know, probably as like one of the top maps like ever. You know, like, you know, whether that's a solid A or, oh, we crouch, that's not good. Again, if you have stamina up, this strategy so much nicer to do. But again, this series isn't necessarily ranking the maps, right? Yes, it should kind of correlate to it, but certain maps are going to be very brutal and, you know, might not be fun to even do these challenges on. You know, I mean, it's a very maybe likely possibility that actually does happen on certain maps where, hey, this challenge, or there was multiple challenges that, hey, this map landed on, that this was brutal to do, you know, and it's very likely that we see some of those challenges, especially on Black Ops 1, being those maps, you know. You know, it really just depends on kind of our luck, and, you know, there's a lot of certain factors of, like, you know, Ascension, for instance. We're not going to be able to do the Rainbow Perk Challenge because of one stupid mechanic, the monkeys. Like, the fact that I've thought about that, and I was like, oh, I'm actually, like, strictly refusing to do that challenge because of that. That's why, like, these rankings, I'm not necessarily, like, especially when it comes to the atmosphere, like, I'm kind of looking ahead to some of these maps, too, is look at Kino. Like, Kino's probably going to get, like, a 50%, you know, which, again, you know, will just tank the score of Kino, you know. But, like, again, like, it's not, like, I guess, a bad thing either, you know, like, it's just what it is, you know. It doesn't mean that it necessarily should get ranked lower. It's just this overall score to where we can kind of rank them, if that makes sense. Now, here's the thing. As it stands right now, the Giant is the best map, right? With 234, meaning there was only 66 points that I would say are left on the table, right? And in all honesty, those, I guess, points left on the table are based off of gameplay and what the challenges can actually do to kind of benefit, or to kind of make it more of an enjoyable experience. You know, like, there's certain there's challenges that, like, just really didn't make the Giant feel any different. One box challenge, you still, like, were able to go ahead and just either camp or train. You know, it didn't prevent you when you had to figure out a whole different strategy, right? And, you know, that's just how it is. Guess I've been running pack and double pack, I guess. Might as well. I just want to maybe try getting, like, another Liquid Divinium or something. You know how I am with Liquid Divinium.
France, Brazil, even the damn moon. Why is that? One of these days, I'm gonna bust this shit wide open and find out how it really works.
Huh? What's that? We will get a Liquid Divinium here shortly, or one way or another. And it's a dog round. Beautiful.
Hear that? Hell dogs.
Alright. Praise. All that for a few doggies. What was I saying? Oh, so yeah. Like, the giant left 66 points on the board, right? I don't think we're gonna see too much higher, like, atmospheres. I mean, like, the giant was 84. Like, I think most places, most decent spots have about the same kind of atmosphere. The Easter eggs are gonna be the ones that kind of amplify some of those scores for sure. But, like, I think 84 is still, like, a solid, you know, point on it, right? Like, I don't think, again, I don't think a lot of maps left, like, even if they do have an Easter egg and it's super good, I don't think they're gonna, like, they're gonna obviously have, you know, 80, probably close to 80s and stuff like that if it's a decent Easter egg and the map doesn't look like crap. Like, it's gonna have that kind of stuff. But, like, it's also not going to be, you know, high 90s or anything. I mean, it could be. I don't even know. You know, like, it might be. There might be certain maps that get up to a super good score on there. But, like, ultimately, 84 is still pretty high, I would say. To where I don't think, like, certain maps, if they might tie it, right? So the main points that I think are the biggest challenge that we're really trying to find right now is what's the zombie map that these challenges take those maps to, like, the 90s. Or honestly in the 80s. I truly believe between I think the two best gameplay experiences we've had was, you know, Shinonuma and the Giant. So I mean, like, with those options, we haven't even touched 80%, meaning we haven't touched what I believe could be the top, like, 20% of what a zombie map could be and could, like, accomplish, you know? And I believe that. Like, I don't think getting a powerful weapon or, you know, a, like, pack-punching a weapon and chilling on a catwalk is prime, you know, gameplay. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But I don't feel that way. I don't feel like that this is peak.
That's what I call a gun. Like there's
And, like, it's hard to get better than this, right?
Next time, don't take so fucking long.
If someone believes that this is the top tier map and we're not gonna see much better than this, like, I don't know. I feel like that's, you must have not played a lot of maps. Is kind of how I would answer that one. Also, I don't know where this thing is at. But so, like, the Giant, for instance. I mean, obviously that's what we're kind of, that's the top of the line right now on really everything. as far as gameplay. I mean, the only thing it's not in the top of the lineup is atmosphere. But between overall gameplay and the kind of amplified gameplay with the challenges and stuff, again, you're still, I mean, that's where most of it comes from, being at 150. So there's pretty much 50 points, you know, 50 percentage point, however you want to like say it, 50 points of left on the table for other maps to take. You know, like, that's quite a bit too. Is certain maps might play pretty identical to it, like Kino, for instance. But how did the challenges work? You know, are the challenges better? And for like one challenge in particular that like I know is pretty, it's difficult, but at least you have some space to at least attempt it in a sense. And it's more of a, I would say more controlled than, I guess, World at War maps, as I guess it should be, because I mean there should be a little bit more care done with them, I guess. But it's the fact, like the room revolver challenge, for instance, is like that kind of challenge we can actually do, and people would actually understand kind of where we're at with it. And there's more kind of stuff to do on like Gobblegum challenge, stuff like that too. There's more doors, you know, like there's just more stuff to do. So certain gameplay mechanics and stuff, we actually could see the giant fall down pretty hard when it comes down to that stuff. And like there's a clear reason why the giants, like, or was giant, the like people in Black Ops 3, it was their go-to, oh, I'm just gonna do this for XP grind,
I gotta figure out how to get these upgrades without having
is
to lay
because
out
there was nothing crazy about it. Wasn't saying that it was bad, but there was just nothing crazy. You know, there's nothing crazy about the giant, and it's easy for XP. That's why people played it. You know, and that's why there was no really complaints about, like, it was a kind of copy paste kind of thing, other than the intro. The Easter egg was kind of the same. There wasn't a huge pushback on it because it did a lot. Like, it was good. It was fine. It was, you know, it was exactly what Doris was. You got your guns and you camped it out, right? Or you had a little bit better training opportunity. There's our liquid divinium. We might go to like round 25, I guess, and then call it a day. I guess the thing I'm saying right now is there's definitely going to be a lot of things to consider with this. This was kind of, I wasn't really going to do this in terms of actual, like, oh, I'm going to grade these zombie maps now. Like, I wanted to talk about them for sure. You know, see, like, oh, this is what I really thought about when I played Varuk. You know, like, I wanted that out there for sure. But to actually say, like, oh, this is what I would give Varuk, or this is what I would give the giant. You know, like, I wasn't going to do that. You know, and now that I am doing that, you know, I'm kind of happy I am, because I think it's good to have something numerical about it, to where you can say, oh yeah, this is kind of where I would rank this stuff compared to those. This isn't necessarily a ranking system, but you also have to, if, again, the whole reason about this whole challenge series was to say, if we had like all these challenges to play, all the maps to choose from, what would be the best map to say, I want the best zombie experience? Whether that's atmosphere, whether that's Easter egg, whether that's, you know, like I mean, whether it's just regular gameplay, because not every day are you in the mood for a challenge. So what's the regular gameplay on it? Which, again, this is a clear reason why we didn't pop up the, like, we only gave the giant +6 from its challenges gameplay, like the game, or like the gameplay experience from like when we were doing challenges, from compared to its original gameplay. And this is why, is because the same thing we're doing right here is the same thing we did on all the challenges. That's the round still going. I didn't think that. And you know, that's the unfortunate thing about it, is, you know, you would like to think, oh yeah, well, you know, yes, I had fun doing it, don't get me wrong, I had fun like playing the giant, but the challenges didn't change the main, like the regular giant feel. You know, like the giant still felt like the giant no matter what challenge I did. You know, like I didn't feel, there was a couple maps, I'll admit, like I felt restrained or something like that, but that's what the challenges were supposed to do, you know. But it didn't change my experience on it, you know. Now, obviously, the other part of this was supposed to make me a better zombies player, all that good stuff too, and I feel like we've definitely achieved that as well. Like, I feel like there was some good positives throughout this entire zombie experience, honestly. So, like, I'm not, like, necessarily... Oh, another one? I didn't think we were going to get another liquid divinium. That's crazy. Okay. We'll take it. Kind of lost my train of thought here. I just really was not expecting that liquid divinium there. But, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's not, like... I mean, like I said, I definitely enjoyed it. Like, it wasn't like there was just not, it wasn't this crazy difference. And I think that's the biggest point of it, is it wasn't like, oh wow, I, you know, got, you know, this, you know, I'm doing this challenge and this took this map to a whole new level. I didn't feel it. I really didn't. And that's why, like, there's just, you know, there's a lot more on the table, and I think zombies in general, they prove that. And that's why I think there's a lot of things with zombies that, like, people look at and they say, okay, like, this doesn't have this doesn't have this. I mean, there's a reason why so many people have ranked zombies, or like zombie maps and like all this stuff, and have done actual, like, you know, massive takes on the zombie, like, gameplay and all that stuff, and like between everything, what does this have, what does this have, and like professional rankings in a sense. Obviously we're not doing all that, but what we are doing, we're just kind of, we're sticking with a ranking system and seeing where that kind of lies things, right? And right now I feel like it's pretty good, you know. And I think the biggest thing with zombies though is, if you look at these numbers again, like I mentioned before, you take the what is it, the something like that atmosphere or something like that, and you don't really see many, you know, close to 90 atmosphere zombie maps. You know, like, you, especially, I think you would hardly see inside 90. Maybe Origins is one, like, is one of, like, I guess the exceptions to that. But again, you won't get that till Black Ops 2, right? So, like, you know, there's a lot of maps that I just feel like have fallen short So when you hear like, oh, the giant got 234 out of 300, you know, like, oh, that must mean some of these other maps are going to blow the giant out of the water. And it's like, well, not necessarily, because look where all the other maps are. You know, like, they're not in a crazy spot. Whether the gameplay, whether it's the, hey, it has a what's it called, Easter egg, but it's really just not that good. You know, like, it, you know, it very well could be one of those situations.
Who's ready for a fresh round of bullets? Hey, come here, freak sacks.
I don't know. Probably just gonna get to like round 30 or something. Again, like, we're not really trying, and everything's just kind of going our way here. And we have no downs. I just don't think we're going to get a another liquid divinium. That's the honest truth there.
I ain't got no mercy, pussbag. Bring it on, freak bags.
Huh? Beautiful. I also know we have a ton, kind of an unrelated note. I know we have a ton of clips and stuff like that that we have to get out too. Like I said, I know our next zombie stream will just be a casual liquid divinium opening. Nothing too crazy about that.
That's what I'm talking about.
Might just kind of talk about what we might be kind of doing just in general with our channel wise. Little bit of Black Ops 6 talk. You know, there might be some stuff with it. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna wait for this thing to activate, I guess. Or let's go ahead. I think we can get one more liquid divinium. I think we can try. If we just... If we just go and do... Nice. Unfortunately, we don't want to fall to zombies, so we might just try saving one. Or a crawler, maybe. Wouldn't been bad. We're fine though.
I got your ticket off planet Earth, maggots. Congratulations. You get points for persistence, but you're still gonna die today. Gotta give them credit. Not about to quit. Oh yeah, still chunks rolling. See that? There's trains all over the place. Hey, just so you know, you guys
And
ain't
there we have it.
along without me. I'm gonna crave them all.
935. How about that? Ended with 935, dude. What a coincidence. That's crazy that we end with that. But, like I said, that's where we ranked them right now. Lots of room for improvement wise, everything like that. I think this is a very solid baseline. I think this speaks true to the entire experience as well. Like, I mean, obviously we played some Black Ops 3 of the World at War maps, but we also played them on World at War 2. And I think with that too, you get a little bit of that balance as well. Like, we have right now, we literally have a map that is I think one of the worst maps with 37 gameplay, and then we bumped it up to 50 with the challenge series. You know, the Noct was 50, we bumped it up to 60. Shino Numa was 71 up to 78, and then the Giant was 72 up to 78. So I mean, we have like some decent maps that are like right around that, slightly above mid-level, I guess mid-level-ish, and then also this kind of spot where it's like pretty good maps, like almost top 25 percentile, like percentage-wise, but room to grow too. And you know, certain maps are going to be like, oh yeah, that brought more, or hey, this gives a little bit more to the experience, whatever it might be, you know. And then certain, you know, then we also have all our challenges that we're going to implement in these maps, and that's where things can go crazy, you know. I mean, I'm just, you know, throwing it out here too, is obviously we have Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 to tackle, but then we also, when we get to Black Ops 3, you take a look at something like the Rise and Drac, right? You know, atmospherically, it's probably on par, maybe a little less than the Giant, but like gameplay wise and all the challenges that we'll be able to do on that, you know, we're looking at probably in the 90s, right? I mean, like, you know, like they're, and I think that's accurate, is for what Der Eisendrach can do, and the baseline gameplay I don't think is something crazy. You know, I truly don't think the like basic gameplay of like, oh, I get the Wonder Waff, train around and win. You know, same thing with the bows too, but how do you get the bows? Like, it's a whole experience wise, and that's where things can kind of improve itself. And on top of that, after you do all that, then you can go on to the Easter egg too. You know, it's certain things like that where things all kind of, it's like gears and stuff. They all kind of intertwine with each other. The only thing that kind of takes away from it is, or it could take away from it, is the fact that a lot of maps, like Moon for instance, they take the wonder weapon and cool device mechanics, and they kind of, like, you have everything else going in unison. All the other gears are moving together. But then Easter egg is this whole totally separate thing that kind of disrupts the process. You can either have fun on the map or focus on the Easter egg. You can't really do both. You know, like, because if you're doing the Easter egg, you're not having a good time, but you're focusing on this cool storyline. And that's the only redemption of it. The Easter egg itself sucks, like the stepwise and the RNG that's involved with Moon. But the reward's really nice too. But it does take away from it as well. Gameplay itself, we'll get to it. But like I said, there's one last thing we are going to be doing. It's going to be 110 but we're gonna say 100 liquid divinium opening. That will be our next stream, potentially tomorrow. Maybe like tomorrow afternoon we might do that, and then you know Friday or maybe Friday, if not maybe Saturday. But I don't know. There's a lot of things that are kind of switching right now. Potentially, yeah, I'm gonna put it this way: we're gonna do a liquid divinium opening, and then after that, our next stream will be Black Ops 1 Kino der Toten. Okay, and that's where we'll start our Black Ops 1 journey on there. Okay, it won't be a challenge, it'll just be regular gameplay wise, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, that's gonna wrap it up. If you guys can, hit that like button, comment below what else you guys want to see. If you guys have any challenges that you guys want to see going on for Black Ops 1 zombies, whether it's on Black Ops 1 or the Black Ops 1 zombie maps on Black Ops 3 that were remastered, let me know in the comments below. We are going to be doing a lot of them on Black Ops 3, Shangri-La, Moon, Ascension. We will be going into Kino on Black Ops 3, but most of it will be in Black Ops 1 Kino. So yeah, I mean we have a lot to do and stuff. So if you guys have specific challenges, let me know in the comments below. And yeah, if you guys are new to my channel, I guess do hit that subscribe button. Do want to shout out that motivation journey as well to, you know, that came by and you know, did hit that subscribe button. So I appreciate everyone that's been able to stop in, you know, say hi, or even just stop in and, you know, check us out for a little bit and leave, even if they didn't say anything or, you know, didn't do anything from there on. You know, I appreciate everyone that's even looked at the channel. You know, I'm excited for what this challenge is going to be doing down the road. I'm excited for Black Ops 6. You know, there's a lot of things that I'm excited for. So that is the plus side of all this. Oh yeah, I guess we can stop that recording as well. It's so weird how I have that much space. I have so many clips and stuff, which is why I think tomorrow morning we might be editing some clips in the morning, and then maybe posting a couple videos and shorts, and then maybe in the afternoon we do a liquid divinium opening, and then we'll go from there. All right, so yeah, like I said, that's gonna wrap it up. Everyone have a good night, and I will see you guys tomorrow.